It's very common right now for businesses to also have communities associated with their brand and their marketing strategy. Think of programs like Slack, LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, Mighty Networks. Businesses are connecting people universally and being able to create this really fun and creative opportunity to connect with their clients and their customers and have that be a part of their growth strategy. And podcasting is not unique in that it can really support the growth of these communities. But we found after talking with hundreds of business owners and working with business owners that are using their podcast to grow their businesses and their communities through our Growth Accelerator program, three common missteps that happen where you lose podcast engagement within these communities and groups. So, one is that the post never changes format. So, think pattern interrupt, for example. When you post into your communities and your groups, you want those individual posts, whether they're talking about your podcast or not to be simply a repetitive cut and paste. So, really think about the energy that you're putting into these posts. What is it that they want to read? What is it that they want to engage in? What would inspire them to like, share, or comment? And then, number two is the idea of just making a simple announcement about a new podcast episode. So, for example, if all you do is post in your group, in your online community, new episode just dropped, well, that's going to be redundant after a while and not particularly exciting or inspiring. But instead of new episode just dropped, if you were to say, new episode totally devoted to how to maximize your time management in your day, well, someone who's feeling stressed and overwhelmed and behind on their to-do list is going to immediately want to click that link to hear some way that they can improve on their time management skills. See the difference there? And then number three is being in a situation where you're talking at your community or talking to your community rather than creating an inclusive collaborative opportunity. I recently was doing a discovery session with a new client yesterday, and one of the things that we talked about is they have this highly engaged, really passionate Facebook group of over 2,500 people. And one of the things that we're going to do together as we build out the podcast and begin to launch their show is to go into that community and ask for feedback. Show a couple of different examples of cover art. Which do you like, A or B? Play some of the music samples that we're thinking about putting into the intro, playing some of the voiceovers, having that highly passionate community weigh in on what do they want to see out of this company's new podcast, because you want to provide a product and create content that is going to fire up your community and keep them engaged as a part of you and your thought leadership and your subject matter expertise. And no one likes to be talked at so much. So I ask you, what are some of the things that you could do to really inspire your community and take your presence of your podcast and your podcast audience and engagement to that next level? Think about that the next time you promote your podcast in your community group or online or anywhere where people can find out about you and your podcast.